thanks for coming. I had to take my cat to the vet recently to get fixed, which is in veterinary terms spaying or neutering the cat, or to the layman people, it's breaking the cat so it can't make more copies of itself. And the vets don't like to call it breaking the cat because it evokes this mental imagery of them riding your cat around the surgery, a bit like a rodeo. Yeehaw! I'm breaking in your cat! Breaking in your cat! Which I'm sure they do, it's just not professional to talk about it. Yes, I definitely love my cat, and it was very hard to get it to the vet, and it was a very spiritual experience because I've always believed in evolution and things like that, but I've realized that cats were born like millions of years before cages were invented, and yet seem intelligently designed as staying the fuck out of a cage machines. It's almost scary. My housemate saw me trying to put the cat into the cage, and I'll admit I was crying at the time, and he puts his hand on my shoulder and says, "Dude, don't worry, it's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay, vets do this all the time." And I'm like, "Fuck the cat, look at the scratches on my arms! This bastard will be lucky to make it to the vet alive once I finish shaking that cage!" So I put one of those baby on board signs on my car, you know, to get to the vet quickly before I bleed out, because my cat is like my baby, and at the same time, the baby on board sign turns everyday traffic into like a hostage situation. Get out of my way, I'm gonna shake the cage! And once I got to the vet, I realized what all the fuss is about. I mean, from the cat's perspective, it was sleeping in the garden and gets lifted up in the air and flies down the street faster than it's ever been, spread-eagled on a stainless steel table under a bright light, and wakes up back in the garden with a scar on its belly. It's like the cat's equivalent of an alien abduction, except not for crazy people who crave attention. So I love cats, and I love my girlfriend. I have a girlfriend, amazingly. She's a transformer, but in my defense, I didn't know until we started going out, and she transformed into batshit crazy and plus 5 kilos. Sometimes both at the same time. It's like she's actually seen the 1986 Transformers cartoon movie and turns into that giant planet-eating Unicron. That's scary, and that would be okay. Like, I can deal with that. It's just, I wish she'd make that little transforming sound, and then I can like hide the cat in the cupboard. Oh, come in the cat. Oh, mummy's angry, mummy's angry. Move aside, there's room in there for 2. But she's great. I mean, and relationships are great. I mean, sex, the first time you're in a relationship is so good. It's like steak. Oh, it's so delicious. And then every night after, it's like shitting out the steak and eating it again and again and again. Yep. At the same time, it's hard to find the right kind of girlfriend, because you don't want one of those girls who's married for status or something like that, like some fucking nun. Ooh, I'm married to God, he'll kick your ass. Well, I don't have time for that. Do I seem a little jittery? Because I drank a lot of I drank a lot of coffee today, and a lot of that work coffee, which is like the worst in the world. Blend 43, the only coffee that exists where as you drink it you can actually feel both your senses of taste and self-respect dying at the same time. And can you imagine how bad the other 42 blends must have been? Oh my god, it's like kicking a baby's soul in the face. Oh, I hate that. So what do? You go, like, where else can you get gourmet coffee? Like McDonald's drive-thru, the Met Cafe? I mean, why would you trust the clown to make you a fucking cappuccino? But I tried, just so you wouldn't have to. It was similar to a Heaven's Gate suicide party in my mouth, but the further into the cup you go, the better it tastes, because all the sugar accumulates down the bottom, which tells us 2 things. One is that this is too hard for a McDonald's employee. That's stirring. And 2, without sugar, we may as well be drinking dog's piss. And having had a McDonald's coffee, I actually feel like I'm already there, so, you know. The worst thing of all is on the side of the cup, they have the slogans written like, "Why wait for great tasting coffee?" Which is exactly what I was thinking. Why would I wait for great tasting coffee when McDonald's can whip me up a big old cup of foaming shit? But, you know, you can't quit that stuff. I mean, it's hard because you don't have like any of those horrible side effects that make you want to quit, until you just keep drinking more and more and more until you've got that caffeine intolerance. It could kill a sandworm, and you can't quit these addictions until something horrible happens. I mean, you can't quit something delicious until you have to. Like, I mean, we'd all be pickers were it not for some horrific childhood nosebleeds. Am I right? And yet, on an informal survey this morning on the freeway, I noticed not everyone in Perth has learned that lesson. Thanks, everyone.